Hey guys, I'm Chris.
I'm Kathy.
Today we want to take a minute to talk a little bit about hazmat. If you were thinking about hauling hazmat and you haven't, maybe this kind of give you some insight, see if it's something that you really want to do, or if you already have your hazmat endorsement, but maybe you haven't hauled hazmat in a while. This might be a little bit of a refresher, but there's just a few things here we want to go over.
When you drive for Landstar, you're required to have your hazmat. Even if you don't haul it, you don't have to haul.
Right.
There's a large market for hazmat, just like there is for cold chain.
Right.
You will possibly more than not have to keep it at a certain temp. Usually it's 70. Yeah. It's ambient. Yeah, We've learned with hauling hazmat, some things for sure that you forget or don't know. Like when you go across come to a railroad stop crossing, you have to put your flashers on and stop.
And roll your windows down.
Roll your windows down and listen. If you get caught not doing this, that's a violation with DMV. Also going into way stations, even if you get a green pass, there's certain states that you must still go in. And we know Ohio's one of them.
Ohio for certain, but there's always a sign at the way station, usually at the way station or when you cross into the state, but usually at the way station it will tell you that you must stop even with a pre-pass. So.
Right. And the other thing too is when you're using your GPS, you want to put in that you have hazmat.
Yeah.
And we put in.
If you have one that has that feature, you choose which type of hazmat you have, and usually they do a pretty good of routing you, but still always read signs. There's no exception for that, because
can't go through tunnels.
No.
And over heavy bridges, long bridges.
That's another one with the sign. Usually, they'll tell you if no hazmat in tunnel, or they'll have a list of specific hazmats that are not allowed in the tunnel, and it always will give you an exit to take, the way to go around it.
Right, so you'll take that exit before you get in trouble.
It's very important to always read signs at any time you're driving a commercial vehicle, even more so when you're hauling hazmat, because now you have more things to watch for and you have to stay ahead of it. Not only are you watching for traffic around you, but you have to read all these signs to make sure that you're not doing something that would be a violation.
Right. Lots of times they'll route you around the towns for sure. Now sometimes you go through small towns, but usually a larger city you're routed around. You're not allowed to have hazmat through. So what we have found when you're doing hazmat is it's going to take you longer.
Right. Because
they're going to route you around. So it's going to be a little bit longer than non-hazmat loads.
Right.
But we haven't had any trouble with it. They usually load it for you and unload it. And as long as you're careful, and we'll show you the books and where to place them and things like that, you'll be safe. So thanks for watching. Okay, so once you have received your paperwork from the shipper with hazmat, you'll want to go through and make sure that everything is in the correct order that you were taught in class. If you're unsure if it's in the correct order or if everything's labeled correctly, then you will take pictures of your load, and you will take pictures of your paperwork and any placards they gave you, and you will email that to Hazmat Landstar. Once they have time to receive that, a few minutes, call in on the hazmat line and they will guide you through everything and look over everything for you, just to make sure that you do everything right and get through DMV. If you have been with Landstar for a while, or you've been doing the same loads for a while and you feel confident, you do not have to call Landstar before you depart. So it's totally up to you, but it's kind of a nice thing to have. With FedEx, you have to call before you're allowed to leave and go through everything. But with Landstar, you're on your own pretty much. If you know what you're doing, You can just roll. You don't have to wait. So what we do is we look for the name first of the product. That should be on there after the UN number, should be the name of the product. And when you find the name of the product in your hazardous materials book, then once you have the name of the product, you're going to go across over here. It'll tell you everything. If the UN number lines up and everything works out like that, you're going to look over here to the ERG guide and you'll get a page number. So once you get that page number, you go into your guidebook here, your orange book. The yellow is for number, the blue is for name, and the orange is for guide. And so you look in here until you find page 119, and that's going to tell you, in case anything happens on your load while you're on the road, what to do, what to look for, everything like that. Now these two books have to be kept with your paperwork on the dash, and while you're in the truck. If you get out of the truck, you're to place it on the seat, driver's seat, or in the driver's door. And in case anything happens while you're gone, people can find the paperwork. That's pretty much it, and we'll show you how to do the placards now. Yeah.
Okay guys, we're going to show how to put on the placards. First off, a lot of times at the shipper they'll give you placards that might look like this. They have adhesive on the back. They're basically big stickers. Those can actually be stuck on the box itself or the trailer, or a lot of trucks usually have these flip outs. So especially if you have more than one placard, the first thing you want to do is see if you have it on your flip out. For instance, we do have the corrosive here like I'm holding in my hand, but shipment may require more than one placard. So say if you have a shipment that's flammable gas, we can use this one, and we can also, we have a holder here, we can also use this in a holder. Basically you just slide them in. Now the only thing about sliding these placards in is sometimes when you're going down the road, after the wind's hitting them, or if they get wet, they can actually come out of these holders. So there's two ways to do it. One, you can tape them if you have just clear packing tape. Make sure you tape securely around the edges so the wind doesn't catch it, pull it out. The other thing, Landstar actually issued these when we went on with Landstar, and you can buy them through Landstar if you need more. But this plastic cover will fit on top of the placard and slide into the slot. Now this keeps it secure. There's no way this can get blown out with the clear cover over it. Now if you have a load, which we have a few times, that has more than two placards, after this, unless you have another holder, you'll just have to utilize the box of the truck. Just stick them on the wall. Be sure to clean it first. We use Windex. Any kind of cleaner you have is fine, but you don't want it to come off. And if the side of your truck's dirty like it is now in the wintertime, they won't adhere to the side. So make sure you clean that off first, and that's how you put on the placards. Okay guys, we mentioned our GPS. This is ours. This is a Garmin. I think there's different makes that actually do this, but this, I'll just show you an example on ours. When you're doing a hazmat load, we've already got our truck in here, a straight truck, and you can see we've used it several times here. What we've got here is different loads that we've had. For instance, this one was a flammable number 3. There's different ones that we've already used. Flammable number 2, use this one a lot. But if you don't already have it in here, what you do is just hit the plus mark and pick what you're driving. We're driving a straight truck, and it asks our max height, which this is always important too, because you don't want to take you under low bridges. And also our width, I always just do 8 feet, and we're 40 feet long. And total weight, I'm just going to put 40,000 pounds. But anyway, you can pick what kind of hazardous material you have here: explosive, compressed gas, flammable liquids, flammable solids, oxidizers, poison, radioactive, corrosive, or number 9 is miscellaneous. So for instance, the placards that we were just putting on, it was corrosive. So in that case, we would select corrosive, and we hit next. And now it shows here that we've got our diamond with our 8 in it. So that's how we know that we've picked the correct hazard class. As I mentioned before, sometimes the bridges, or excuse me, the tunnels will only limit certain types of hazmat. Sometimes it's all, but sometimes they only have certain ones. Maybe they just don't want anything flammable or explosive in there, but they may allow corrosive, or that all varies. But this will pick a route that your specific load can go. If you have more than one, make sure you do the lowest number. The lowest number, the more serious it is, and the more restrictions that you're going to have. So, for instance, if ours was corrosive, and it was also, let me go through this real quick, and it was also flammable, so it's a flammable number 2, we would want to pick that one. And now it shows the number 2 in the diamond. That way, because the corrosive might be allowed somewhere that the flammable is not. So like I said, you always want to pick the lowest number that you're carrying and put that into your GPS. And once again, the GPS is not a fail-safe. I mean, it's not always 100%. Most of the time it is, but you're responsible. You're the driver. You're responsible for the load. It's your CDLs on the line. It's you're the one that's going to get the violation or the ticket. So make sure you read the signs before you drive. Same thing with the height and the width. You're already doing that, but when you're doing hazmat, you make sure that you're reading the signs, and make sure you don't go anywhere that a hazmat load is not allowed.